Dr. Mrs. Gloria K. Ahmed, the Director, Special Duties, Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning. She is also the National Coordinator, OGP, that is Open Government Partnership. All right. And the topic of discussion today on the show is on the role of OGP in the actualization of government MDAs mandate. Now, actualizing government, ministries, departments, and agencies, that is MDAs, by the way, their mandate, it actually requires, effective implementation and even coordination. And we're actually hoping and trusting that Dr. Mrs. K. Ahmed would actually talk us through the implementation strategies for achieving, these mandates coming from these MDAs. Welcome to our studios, Dr. Mrs. Gloria K. Ahmed.
Thank you very much for having me here.
And I must confess that you look really gorgeous today. Is it your birthday or something? Or you're always like this?
This is my signature.
Oh, your signature. I see. Thank you so much. Dear listener, you probably would want to take a look at what we have in the studios. Hurry now to the YouTube and Facebook platforms at Eagles FM Abuja, right, to see for yourself. And also engage us in the conversation, right? And by leaving a comment, even as we go conversation, we wouldn't be taking phone calls on the show today, but getting feedbacks from you as far as this topic is concerned is a step in the right direction. So for starters, how does open government partnership support MDAs, talking about the ministries, the departments and agencies of government in actualizing their mandate?
Oh, thank you very much for that question. Once again, thank you for having me here. Hello, Nigerians, partners, greetings. Before I go on to answer your question, I would like to give a little sensitization or enlightenment on what the Open Government Partnership is. The Open Government Partnership, as the name implies, is a partnership, that encourages government to be open. Open Government Partnership, it's a partnership, which means it is multi-stakeholder. It is also multilateral. OGP is an all-encompassing platform, is a platform that embraces government, civil society organizations, the private sector, everybody. It is premised on the principle of inclusivity, promoting good governance and accountability.
Okay.
Of course, inclusivity, like I mentioned, and the application of technology to drive reforms. Also governance, citizens. Government response to citizens. So that's what Open Government Partnership is. And that's the uniqueness of the OGP, because there's been so many other programs before OGP. But why OGP is different, it's unique and is working, is because it embraces everybody. Nobody's an island of knowledge.
Right.
Everybody will come to the table with different ideas, different perspectives, with different kinds of support. It's often said that if you want to walk fast, you go alone, but if you want to go very far, you walk with somebody. So it's always good to be in partnership.
Okay.
Yeah. So how has OGP assisted the MDAs? We all know that MDAs have their various mandates. Different mandates. Ministry of Agri has its mandate to feed the nation. Ministry of Information to make sure that Nigerians are enlightened and educated and stuff like that. So how does the Open Government Partnership comes in? As I mentioned before, OGP is a partnership between government, civil society, and private sector.
All right.
So OGP has the platform which it uses to support the MDAs.
Okay.
So usually when OGPs, there's so much to say about the Open Government Partnership.
Please go ahead.
The guide for the OGP in every term is the National Action Plan, which is co-creatively developed by government, civil society, private sector, by Nigerians. And we're at that point right now where we're developing the 4th National Action Plan.
How do you go about the development of this action plan? When you say by Nigerians, it's more like it's, all encompassing, like the masses, you really carry them along in the process?
Everybody is carried along. So I was just about to say that we have successfully developed and implemented 3 national action plans. We are at the verge of developing the 4th.
Okay.
And how do we get this done? First, there's a stakeholder consultation. We send out messages on the social media platforms, in the print media, inviting submissions from Nigerians.
Okay.
And then we do sensitization, just like this one we're having now, for those who are not tech-savvy, who are not on internet, for ordinary Nigerians on the streets who at least have radios. We know that even those in the bushes have radios that they listen to. So we call on Nigerians to make their input. What do you want to see in the action plan, which we usually implement in the course of 2 years, but this time around we've gotten approval to implement in 4 years.
Okay.
The 4th plan. So usually when Nigerians send their input, it is collated, it is sorted out and prioritized into thematic areas, and then we come up with commitments and programs to implement what Nigerians have said. Now, in as much as we hear from Nigerians, we also make government priority our area of focus.
Okay.
Yes. So we are not reinventing the wheel. OGP exists to promote good governance.
All right.
So whatever the government stands for, which is good for the citizens, is what OGP promotes. So now OGP focuses on government priorities, takes ministerial mandates, and see how the civil society organizations and private sector can come in to support MDAs to fulfill their mandate.
No, but there are speculations that some of these civil society organizations have been taken over by politicians. So do you really think the partnership is going to be citizens, driven? Is it really going to have a human face to it? Or it's going to be just biased?
No, it's not just going to be just biased, as in the myth that the civil society has been taken over, it's not true.
Okay.
Because there's so many civil society organizations. I'm not saying there are always bad eggs, but the majority, especially the ones I have worked with, have come to the table with sincerity of purpose. Yes, so there are thematic areas in the plan, and the one that speaks to certain MDAs, you have technical working group members.
All right.
By the way, we have a very large technical working group. It has about 300 people from government, civil society, private sector, all together. So you can imagine when you have 300 people in a room trying to discuss a few issues, they'll be able to come with different ideas. The more ideas you have, the better decisions you come up with.
Absolutely.
So they pick a particular thematic area, and the experts in that area from the civil society, from the private sector, supports the MDA.
Okay.
In terms of technical know-how, sometimes funding, not giving cash, but helping to facilitate certain processes towards achieving those mandates. So it's not like reinventing the wheel. We come in, okay, what's your mandate? This is your mandate. OGP steps in and supports you to achieve what you were meant to do.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
The next question I'm going to be asking you is probably out of the box, all right?
Okay.
And maybe it's going to have like edges, attached to it, very sharp ones at that. Would you say that some of the mandates of these ministries, departments, and agencies are really realistic or intended to siphon money? And secondly, I'd like you to share with us, maybe if you have examples of MDAs that you've been able to help them achieve, their mandate and, in the whole process.
Thank you very much. I don't know where you got
the reason why I asked you that question
from
is because of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, for example, looking at the controversy that trailed the previous Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, who was suspended, by the way, on the grounds of, alleged corruption. So such a ministry is supposed to, cater for the needs of the average Nigerian on the street who is probably handicapped financially and otherwise.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, you always have a few bad eggs, you understand? Just like there are wonderful people, the bad ones are very, very few. But MDAs have their budgets to carry out mandates that are for the good of Nigerians.
Do you also scrutinize the process? I mean, after the budgets have been passed, how well these monies have been expended, do you also follow through?
We have on the steering committee the Accountant General of the Federation, and that is their own mandate. So by implication,